Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to Reaction Monday, week 11. We're going to be reacting to, in this video, the Jags' big win over the Chargers. And I got Jags here. For those of y'all who are new or don't know, Jax is a Jags fan, and Ezekiel and me, I'm a Texans fan. So we're going to do a Jags reaction, and then we're going to do a Texans reaction. And just talk about the game. Talk about the important parts that went down, some highlights, not showing them, but we're going to talk about some of the highlights in the game and just different things like that. So first, just want your raw reaction, how you were feeling after the game.
Yeah, dude, I'm
Mr.
freaking
Jags.
pumped, bro. I know every Jags fan is pumped. Like you can't be a Jags fan and not be excited about Sunday.
Yeah.
Coming off that terrible loss from the Texans, we bounced back, and I don't know, if you haven't watched our last video with Zeke, we were talking about, that loss from the Texans. We were just like, with this new culture, this new team, we weren't sure how we were going to bounce back. So I'm ecstatic. It's been a great Monday, being able to get the job done with the Chargers. So it's been great.
Can we just be honest, though? There's no way there's anything worse than being a Jags fan, bro. there might not be anything worse than
There's a
being a
lot
Jags
worse,
fan.
bro. Not even mentioning the Texans, bro. You can mention the Browns. You could mention the freaking Jets. You could mention a whole lot of teams, bro. I would be desperate to be a
Jets and
freaking Jags
Browns might
fan,
be your only argument there, buddy. No, besides there,
dude. Man, I'd rather
y'all
be a
come.
freaking dude. I'd rather be a Jag fan than a freaking Charger fan too, bro. I'd
Yeah,
be like the fifth Charger fan.
I know. While we're just, I mean, let's just go in the flow of it. Well, me and Jax, we are talking about off stream that this dude Herbert has to have the greatest PR team, bro. Like,
Bro. And listen, and no disrespect to Herbert. I actually like Herbert. I think he's a good quarterback. But it's just like when you have a guy, which he needed some help. It's obviously not perfect situation. But when T-Law, guys like Stroud, which Stroud is still, I don't feel like he's gotten crazy criticism because he has had some good years, other than this year. You guys like T-Law and Stroud or other situations who have the same kind of situation as him, but he actually gets his excuses like heard.
he's
T-Law
the
and
golden
them,
boy,
they don't.
bro.
Yeah, they don't get
He's
any
the,
excuses hurt, bro. You get bricks thrown at them. I tell you that they would have cremated him, bro, if it was T-Law. If he had a game like that today,
hey, that's what
crazy.
happens when you start dating Madison Beer, bro. The NFL wants to keep you there, bring in some more money for him, bro.
Yeah, man.
So the final score was 35-6, an absolute obliteration. I watched the game personally. I watched it with Jax. Well, not together, but I watched it while he was also watching it. And yeah, Chargers are, in my opinion, they did not look good. I haven't really watched them all season, so I can only speak from what I saw. Their O line, a bunch of car salesmen. He has no wide receivers. I mean, the excuses for Herbert are pretty valid, in my opinion, because I
Yeah.
mean he doesn't have a great supporting cast at all. Um, but at the same time, they're not a very good playoff team, and I think their record is very deceiving. And I just think they got on a hot start, but that's obviously starting to show off a little bit. So
Yeah.
started off, what do you think were some momentum swings within the game? They like really, where you kind of grabbed the game, where you guys grabbed the game by with y'all's hands and said, "Hey, this is ours. You guys aren't taking it."
Yeah. Well, first of all, the Chargers I don't think are really known to play well on the East Coast. I think that was the main thing. I mean, you look at them anytime they come from the East Coast, and maybe every East
Oh, that's a
Coast
good
team.
point. I didn't even think about
You know,
that. They travel a
yeah, when
long way.
they travel a long ways. And I think that's with
Wow.
a lot of East Coast teams. That was the same thing when we played Seattle. We were hoping that was going to be a thing that affected them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Chargers are known not to do that. And especially in Everbank Stadium, which, they know that they don't play well versus us for some reason. So I feel like that was just the first thing off the rip for them. And then I would say the biggest takeaway from both is like you say, Justin Herbert is missing guys. Was missing some offensive linemen. He's missing receivers. He's missing a lot of dudes, and he needed help out there big time compared to what their records show. But at the same time, Jags are still missing guys. Missing our wide receiver one, our wide receiver two. We're missing our cornerback. We're missing an offensive lineman. We're missing our tight end. We're missing a lot of guys as well. So the league, especially right now, I think it was week 11,
Yep. Week
week
11.
11. You have to, it's next man up mentality, and you got to do it. You got to be able to have guys who can perform and execute. And if not, this is where teams miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
So those are some big takeaways, and we able to get the job done. I think we had some better depth than the Chargers had. Being able to bring in guys like Jacoby Meyer, having backups like Parker Washington, and guys who can step up that aren't terrible, but these guys are great players. So we have some better depth than them, which was big for the game for us.
But you didn't really answer my question. What do you feel like was like the momentum shift? Because I mean the first quarter the first quarter it was 7-3. Second quarter you guys scored 7, they scored 3 again. So 14-6 going into halftime, correct? If I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
14-6. So
I think
there
it was
had to have been a
14-6.
time where, because I mean 35-6 is it looks like a butt whooping on paper. So when was the time where the momentum shifted where it's like, all right, this game is ours?
Yeah, and maybe just Tootin, like our backup running back, our second string RB2. He was our running back. He had a touch to start the game, and then he was just running all over. And I wouldn't say the Jags really had home run plays that really just punched it, because for the whole game, I think the two biggest things I could take away from this game that really succeeded the Jags dub was, one, our time of possession. We crushed the Chargers on time of possession. I think we had the ball for 38 minutes of the game, which is our offense had the ball for 38 minutes of the game. So we dominated the offensive line of the ball. And then I would also say, another thing to mention with that is, before this game, the Chargers were leading the league in time of possession. They were leading it. And then coming into this game, we dominated them in time of possession.
Yeah,
so I think
huge.
that was the biggest
you
one.
You always have a great chance to win whenever the time of possession is in your favor.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's a big one. And then us, the Jags, we've been leading the league in penalties all year.
It goes to your point, because a point that you've been making about y'all's recent struggles on defense was the offense isn't staying on the field. So our defense is becoming gassed, and we saw yesterday that the offense was able to stay on the field, and the defense was also able to play at a really good high level. So
defense is able to come in with rest, come in with being able to be on the sideline, look at the tablets, look at the tape, see what we're doing wrong, make adjustments, being able to have that time to do that. And so I'm really proud of our offense. First half we struggled. Trevor Lawrence is making some not so good throws. He didn't look very confident in the first half. Kind of made me nervous, but our run game just dominated the line of scrimmage.
Let's talk about his performance. What did you think about his performance? You could go into as much detail as you think. What do you think?
Yeah, Trevor. First of all, I'd say the reason we won this game was up front. That was the main thing. I wouldn't say Trevor gets all the glory for today. He had a really struggled first half. So props to our guys with ETN and Tootin, who were able to, take it to the finish line for us, because I think those guys were the big, key for this game, that we were just running all over. I think we did 180 yards all game for rush.
Y'all play the best when y'all prioritize the run. When y'all get too much into that West Coast, let's just hope. Let's get a couple routes going. Let's pray for a prayer that one of them hits or one guy gets open. That's when you guys are at y'all's worst, personally. Like, I think that's when your offense looks the worst. But when you are dominating with the run and then opening the pass game up through y'all's domination through the run, that's when y'all's offense looks very elite.
Yeah, and that's what people say to us. Like, if you watch anybody, commentate on Jag games, they always say if you force the Jags to be one-sided, it's not going to be good for us. If you allow Trevor Lawrence to distribute the ball all over the place and be comfortable, let our run game move, let him move, we're a dangerous team. We're really bad. So in the last 4 weeks, these teams have done a really good job of making us one-sided. So, I'm glad we're back establishing the run. Yeah. So I'm glad we're back establishing the run. Even though it's not against the, most impressive opponent right now with the Chargers, because I know they're dealing with a lot, but it's still nice to be able to see that again. So,
well, the thing is like, I know me and you kind of disagree on this, but NFL is the NFL, bro. Like, all these dudes that are playing right now, they were at one time the best at their schools. Like, in high school, whether that was college, like they were top recruits. Like, this is still, no matter what a team record says, it's still the National Football League. It's still very competitive. So even though it might not have been a great team or a great defense, like, y'all's players still did what they're supposed to do and beat a bad team or beat up players and stuff like that.
Exactly. So and then the other point I want to say, like, the biggest thing for this game that I took away was us being a team lead the league in penalties. We came out and only had one penalty the whole game.
Wow.
And that's rather than 10 plus or 10. So I think we absolutely played amazing football on Sunday. Like, almost, I wouldn't say perfect, but it was just executed at a really high level. Didn't shoot ourselves in the foot. We balled out. We established the run. And then Trevor Lawrence he struggled first half. I would say he was, some of his passes were carrying away on him. I don't know if he was fully in sync or something, but second half, he came out looking like a whole new guy, threading the needle to Jacoby Meyer, threading to Parker Washington, and then our run game kept establishing it. So when you have all those pieces, Trevor Lawrence feeling good, you have ETN running well, you have Tootin running well, you have Trevor distributing the ball well. Our team, which obviously that's with all things perfect, but the Jaguars are a scary team where they can get everything developed.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like that's my biggest critique on you guys is y'all can't put it together at a consistent level. Like y'all
Yeah.
can't do it for an extended period of time. Maybe that can change, but at least right now, that's y'all's identity. Is we could have a couple good flashes, a 2 week stretch, 3 week stretch of great team football, and then we just crap the bed the next week.
Yeah.
But to add on to that, like what we were saying earlier about how you said that Trevor Lawrence played a bad half and then he redeemed himself the second half, looked like a whole different quarterback. That's the Trevor Lawrence experience, what people talk about. So, what do you think gets Trevor into that second gear Trevor, where you say this is the guy we drafted, this is the guy that we saw when we picked him number 1 from Clemson? What gets him in that mode?
Yeah. What do I think gets Trevor in that mode?
Yeah, like what gets you what makes you, or what do you think makes him play like that, if that makes sense? Like what triggers him to become that guy?
Yeah, and sometimes it's just the flow of the game. I know a lot of quarterbacks are different. When they get started, like you notice receivers, they usually dip the ball out 5 yards, get the ball in people's hands, get them going. And I think that's what Trevor needs. Same with Stroud over there at the Texans. Like as we've noticed with these quarterbacks is that they're doing no huddle when they're in the flow, when you got them rolling. That's what these kind of quarterbacks are good at. So with Trevor, I think it comes down to getting some completions, getting the ball rolling. But you've known him, if our protection does well, and I think that's been a big way he's struggled in the last few weeks, is he's been in a situation where he's dropping back, he's getting pressure, he's uncomfortable, and he's forcing throws. And that's when I think that's when you get Trevor at his worst, is when you're pressuring him and making him make quick reads and quick decisions and really tight windows over the middle. That's when I think he plays at his worst. But if our line can do well and our game plan's good, and Trevor can be in that situation where he's hitting these targets, I think Trevor's flow state is really, really good. When Trevor gets in that flow state and he's getting completions and he's locked in, Trevor Lawrence is a really, really good quarterback. But when we're getting pressure, when we played the Seahawks, we played the Rams, and then we played you guys, all almost back to back, some good defenses, giving up sacks, giving up pressures. It forces Trevor to use his legs and throw in tight windows. And I think that's where we struggled the last few weeks. So it was nice to have a breath of fresh air this week with the Chargers where he had time. I think we only gave up 1 sack last game. So him being able to feel back established. So
Right. No, I agree, and that's the same thing how we feel with Stroud as well. That I think when Stroud's in his flow state, I actually think he's a top 5 quarterback. Just to watch him dissect and it's almost becomes, I wouldn't say impossible to guard, because then you got to take it to another level with like Pat on the second play. Like he's almost impossible to guard when he's in flow state. But he definitely plays at an elite level when he's in flow state. So I agree. Like quarterbacks like that, they really do need that flow state. But again, it all starts up front with the run. Like, first of all, can you protect? Can you protect well enough to get your quarterback in the flow state? Can you set them up for success by opening up the field through running the football? And when you guys do that for him, he plays very well. When he doesn't have to be Superman. That's the thing with my opinion with Trevor Lawrence. When he doesn't have to be Superman, that's when he looks really good. Like when he doesn't have to, put the team on his back. When players around him are all doing their job, he looks really well.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like. I always knew Trevor had good legs. I always knew he was a pretty decent runner of the football, but I don't think we've seen it really to that magnitude. I mean, we saw snippets of it in 2023 when we were having our really good 8-3 start. But this year, the way he's been using his legs and the way that Cohen's been putting up plays for him to run, now we have another weapon, which is himself, being able to use his legs. So I think Cohen's also done a great job with that and being able to kind of have that more Superman style of, having a guy who's not only going to punish you in the throw, but being able to, punish you with his legs. And that's another thing I didn't get to mention. Liam Cohen absolutely coached a masterclass against the Chargers. He was just a wizard out there. He was really diving in his playbook, and that was some of the best coaching I've seen. So all across the board, from Trevor Lawrence second half to our run game to Liam Cohen to our defense coming out and shutting out the Chargers for 6 points, which is the lowest we've given up all season. Just amazing game yesterday.
Yeah, and just to emphasize again, in my opinion, that Liam Cohen's playbook works really well. Like it's kind of just repeating what we've been talking about. But when the run's really open, when the run's emphasized, his playbook is extremely well. It's very
Oh,
stale when the run's not working because it's just the West Coast spread. That's his
yep.
offense. Is a West Coast spread.
Hmm.
But when that run is working, that offense, that playbook can get dicey.
Yeah.
Um, but to switch to the other side of the ball, your two guys who's been getting the most heat, even from y'all's coach this last week, who, for those of y'all who missed it, I've seen the interview where he was basically left the door open to considering other options at the DN position as far as the backups to get production there. They had a big game, both of them. I'm pretty sure. I mean,
Yep.
you can
Big game.
remind me if their exact stats, or I could look at them right here. Um, but talk about a little bit about your DN duo who kind of redeemed themselves. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
it's a very bad line, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. But you got to at least
Hmm.
be a little bit happy as a Jags fan, showing that
Yep.
they could still get home, or at least overcome adversity that they've been kind of going through these last weeks.
Yeah, and I'm ecstatic about what these guys did on Sunday. First of all, congratulations to Josh Allen for becoming the Jaguars all-time sack leader. Huge for him. Um, really appreciate him. We've been paying him a lot of money, and he's been a big guy to this franchise and for our team. He's a fan favorite. We love him, and we're grateful for him. And he balled out yesterday. Him and Trayvon balled out. It's nice to see Trayvon get more healthy since he had his wrist surgery. I'm not sure if he's still wearing a club anymore, but he balled out yesterday. And I think we pressured. I think I have the stats right here. It was the Jags on 11 pressures on his dropbacks. So we had 50% of sorry 50% of Justin Herbert's dropbacks
Or
had
pressure.
pressure.
Wow.
Yeah, 50% of his. So they did a really good job. Um, and then again, I think Josh Allen had 2 sacks. And then Trayvon, I don't think he had he did have a sack. Trayvon had 1 sack. So I think it was, I don't know how many sacks were total in the game, but you could tell just on 50% of Justin Herbert's dropbacks, he had pressure, which is a
Right.
lot. That dude was running for his life. He also got, I don't know if you saw the play of Justin Herbert getting absolutely leveled by
That
one
was
of our
such a
guys.
bad call, bro.
It was a bad call.
Such
But
a bad
man,
call, dude.
I do take it with a grain of salt. I'm hoping that they can put it together next week. Um, Cardinals, as we just stack games, like we said, like me and you value the most consistency. If
Yep.
you're not technically an elite team or elite player if you don't put together consistent games because you
Yep.
can't rely on it. That's what
Yep.
separates the greats from people who are 15 to 20.
Yep.
It's people who you see flashes of it, but they're not consistent. So
Yep.
we'll see if they can continue to put it together. I think when they do, that's when our corners can shine because when you're giving these guys all the time, and as you know, I think the corner position is where we struggle a lot. Or not just the corner position, but our safety position, just our whole DB situation in general has not been the best. So these D line and our linebackers being able to get pressure, being able to put pressure on the quarterback takes a lot of weight off of our DBs. So
Right.
I hope they can continue to put it together.
And then, real quick, who would you give the offensive MVP to? Who do you think?
I will give offensive MVP to Ezra Cleveland, our offensive lineman. He absolutely balled out yesterday. He had one play with Travis Etienne. I
Oh, you're
think it
going with
was in the
lineman.
fourth quarter.
You're going with, hold
Yes,
on.
lineman.
For those of y'all who don't know, that's your center, right?
I think it's our left guard. Ezra Cleveland
Left
is our
guard.
left guard.
And then, so say that
He played
again.
incredible
He did
yesterday.
what? He did what?
He had a play. He had a play when Travis Etienne had his touchdown. I think it was in the football or it was in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And Etienne had his touchdown. We just took Tootin out and they rolled out left. And if you watch the play, I wish we could play it, but Ezra Cleveland literally goes and drives this dude back like 8 yards and just pancakes him right on the pylon to let Travis Etienne go. So, and that dude, that got me freaking pumped. So I
Hey,
give him
how?
offensive play of the game.
What about
Sure.
that trash can Walker Little? How did he do?
I didn't get to look too much at Walker Little, but I know we had some guys pick up the slack. We had our right tackle move to left tackle throughout the game because Anton Harrison got hurt, and
Also,
I know people
Little
don't
was out
really
the game a little bit.
know Anton Harrison. So our
Oh
best
no,
lineman is Anton
Walker
Harrison.
Little plays left tackle though.
Uh, I think they swapped. No, yeah, no, sorry. Uh, yeah, Walker Little does. I might have it confused. I'd have to go look at it again. But I know that our right tackle. Let me look. I think he either switched from left to right or right to left. But people don't realize how difficult that is when you have a tackle who can switch the side of the ball from going from right to left and
Yep.
just kind of like switching from your right hand to left hand. They act like that's not a difficult thing to do, but it is different. It's super
Yep.
awkward. It's like having a boxer fight from, standard to southpaw. Like that's not something that people are really able to do. So he also played well. So I give a lot of kudos to the O line, letting Trevor drop back and, make his reads, make his throws, and give him the time. So that's definitely offensive player of the
Yep.
game.
And defense, who you got for defensive player of the game?
I got to give it to Josh Allen, man. I'm going to give it to him just for breaking that record and the impact he had on today. I'm going to give it to him. And honorable mention, I'm going to give it to man. We had some. It's nice to see Dan Lloyd back and healthy. Back in the game. He's a big guy for our defense from a leadership standpoint. So I'd also give him honorable mention as well.
And who do you think kind of surprised you the most as far as like you weren't expecting too much out of them, but they went out and did their job, and you're like, dang, okay, like you kind of
That I would say for offense or defense, or just still
yeah,
defense.
yeah, just in general.
Okay, defense for sure. I give it to Antonio Johnson, a safety we have, a young guy. We drafted him, and he's been great for us. He had a pick against Herbert where Herbert dropped back. He had the time, but it got away from him, and he got that pick. I give it to Antonio Johnson for sure. And then on the offense, I still got to give it to Trammell, our guy we just picked up off the practice squad. He's been in a good spot since Travis Hunter's been hurt. I think Diami still hasn't been fully healthy, and he came up from our practice squad. He made actually a pretty decent play today, so I'll give it to him as well.
And then, I mean, I'm sure it was a pretty all around crazy game, so with a lot of positives, but still sometimes there's a quote by Van Gundy that says, "Don't ignore in victory what you wouldn't ignore in failure or in like losing." So, who's a guy that like, okay, we had a great win, but this guy concerns me a little bit. Like what he did a little bit, it's a little bit concerning. He didn't play that great compared to the rest of the team. Who is that for you?
I think today was just such a domination. I can't really think of anybody off the top of my head. It's just one of
You
those
gotta think
things,
of someone, bro. There has to be
Dude,
someone that's like, all right, bro.
I don't know. The only person I could possibly say is probably just honestly Trevor Lawrence, dude. Just for the
Oh,
half.
because the first
That was the
half.
only
Yeah,
thing I think. Just the first
yeah,
half. That was the only thing. I just want to see
that's
consistency
fair.
from him.
Yeah,
I believe in Trevor. For anybody who's watching this and they think, oh, I may be a Trevor Lawrence hater or not, I'm a big believer in Trevor. I still trust him. Yes, as a Jaguar fan, you'll see stuff that's like frustrated or whatever. But I do believe in him. I'm excited for him being 26, having a good head coach, that he has now with Liam Cohen and a bright future. So I still believe in Trevor and I still trust him. So I think he's gonna be great.
now give your bold, not really that bold, but maybe to other people who haven't really done the calculations yet. It's bold. Give your bold season prediction. Y'all's record.
Yeah.
Say
So
that
my
the
record,
Jacksonville Jaguars will.
yeah. Me and you already talked about this off screen, but my prediction for the Jacksonville Jaguars is I think we are gonna go 11-6 to finish the season, and I think we're gonna split with the Colts, and they haven't beat us at home since 2014. So I think we're going to beat the Cardinals next game. And then I think we play the Titans after that. We're going to beat the Titans. Then after that, we play the Colts at home. And then Colts haven't beat us at home since 2014. So it's hard for me to imagine we're going to win 3 games straight. But I like our odds at home. So I think we're going to put it together. And then I think we play Broncos. We're going to lose to the Broncos at Mile High. And then I think it's back to the Colts again. We're going to lose to the Colts at Indianapolis. And then I think the season on a win versus the Titans. And I think we're going to, at the end of the season, at 11-6.
I still want to sleep on the Titans, bro. You know how those division games go. I could easily see y'all splitting with the Titans. You taking a snooze. Hey, you
I'm
that
not
Titan
worried.
fans? That's
I'm
crazy.
not worried about it. I'm not worried about
That's
the Titans,
crazy.
bro. Sorry,
No,
I forgot about the Jets. I forgot to mention the Jets.
oh my gosh, that team is beyond poverty, bro.
Yeah, no. So Jets, and then we'll beat the Jets too. So
I'm telling you, bro. Like I legit wouldn't even be surprised if Vegas had y'all's odds even with them, especially when y'all going
well,
to
think
Tennessee.
about it. Vegas had us losing to the Chargers today. I don't give a crap
They
about
did?
Vegas, bro. Yes, they had us. Look, if you
Wow.
look at it, bro, we were predicted to lose to the Chargers today. So
What was the
whatever.
odds?
But I think they were up 3,
3
like
points?
3 points. 3 points. Yeah, they gave
Dang.
us. But hey,
I
after
mean,
that,
yeah.
yeah, after that loss with the Texans, like the thing is, like I don't. Even me, when I give those odds, I don't think any game is an easy win for the Jags. I don't. Like the team that we've had so far, I don't think like I'm really excited about the bounce back we had versus the Texans, like coming off a loss like that and being in the same situation as we were in 2023 when we were 8-3. And we didn't come out and let this spiral like that season did where we lost 6 straight, lost 5 straight. We came back and we smacked a team. Didn't scrape away with a win. We smacked a team that we should smack, and we came away with it. And then, and it shows you there's a new culture around here. So I'm a big believer that we're going to finish 11 and hopefully make that wild card spot and take it. So
yeah, y'all would with that record, y'all would probably get like 7th. Yeah, y'all would be around the seventh mark, which that'll be interesting who y'all play.
Which I don't
AFC
think the Colts will do it. I don't think the Colts will do it. Like, I don't think they're going to lose some of these games they have on their schedule. I think they have a tough game with the Chiefs tomorrow. But man, if they start sleeping, bro, Jags are coming, bro. We're coming for that division if they start slipping.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, any final takeaways you wanna mention? Just overall, maybe something that we didn't cover that you wanted to emphasize, or
other than what we just talked about for our schedule, I mean, I think it just says a lot about our team and our new culture, and that was like just the main thing for me. Is like, even like I talked to you off screen, I was like, before this game, I was like, man, like I was getting worried. It was like 2023 where we had a good start, we looking good, and after that Houston Texans game, it was about a spiral. I just had in my mind, I'm like, dude, if we spiral again. So I'm just excited about this new culture and who we are now, where we don't let the season spiral. We smack the team in the face. And I think that's just the main thing I was excited about.
Yeah.
And the penalties, man. I know I said it again, but one penalty on the day.
Though. That's big, yeah.
That's huge, huge for us. So that's all I got for today.
Well, awesome. Yeah, that was our Jax's live reaction. We're gonna put out a Texans one here soon as well. But yeah, again, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the coverage, you got any questions you want me to ask Jax or Jax to ask me, you got any comments, we love to engage. We're on TikTok too. We're debating some people on TikTok. I mean, that's the whole point, bro. Like, people, to give your opinions. You know what I mean? That's all we're doing.
And keep in mind sometimes if you're somebody slandering the Jags and somebody responds to you and they're agreeing with the hate, that's not me. That's Zeke responding to me.
Oh, you seen those comments, bro?
Yes, bro. That's Zeke responding, not me, bro.
What were you thinking when you seen those?
Dude, I don't know, bro. I forgot what comment you said. You laid a comment to somebody like, yeah, bro, freaking Texans, like, or the Jags, yeah, they just something you did, like you said something.
But I'm giving my I should start putting like dash Zeke next to it or something.
Dash Zeke, yeah, we got to put some names so people know that I'm not a Jag fan dissing on my own Jags like that. Like, that's not what I'm doing.
Yeah, bro, I'm just giving my honest opinion, bro. That's all it is, bro.
We'll start putting dashes. Dashes.
But yeah, man, if y'all enjoyed this, it wouldn't mean the world if y'all subscribed and liked. We're trying to grow this thing so we could reach more people and stuff like that. So yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Tap in with the next video. Yes, sir. Bye-bye.